Myanmar's ruling military junta says at least 144 people have died in a magnitude 7.7 earthquake, which was followed minutes later by another measuring 6.4. More than 700 people have been injured. Neighbouring Thailand has also been affected, with dozens of construction workers trapped after the collapse of a 30-storey building. TRT World's Victoria Innes has the latest.
This is the moment an earthquake struck Myanmar and neighbouring Thailand, sending a 30-storey skyscraper in Bangkok crashing to the ground. Hundreds of workers were reportedly on the site at the time. The Thai Defence Minister confirmed several people have been killed. Others are feared to be trapped inside, while dozens more are still missing. Rescuers are searching for survivors. Elsewhere, there was panic as buildings shook, sending residents into the street.
I was sleeping on my bed, and at first I thought my head was spinning. So I moved to see what was happening, and things started swaying even more, so I quickly ran to my kids, and we quickly took cover under the table.
The epicentre, though, was in Myanmar's northwest. It is too early to tell the extent of the devastation, but in some areas it appears enormous. Roads and buildings buckled as residents took stock of the damage. This was the nearby Mandalay airport, where travellers took cover on the tarmac outside. In its capital, there were huge lines at the General Hospital. Staff are being forced to treat casualties outside because of damage there too, including the collapse of its entrance.
The wall of our house was made of stone plates and the wall fell to the ground. My child was lying on the floor and the plate fell on her.
The ruling military is calling for help.
We have declared a state of emergency in the earthquake-affected areas in accordance with national disaster management law. We want the international community to give humanitarian aid as soon as possible.
A state of emergency has been declared in 6 regions in Myanmar, as well as in Bangkok, with tremors felt across the region. A number of countries say they are ready to provide support.
The fact that there's a kind of large exposed population living in vulnerable buildings close to where the shaking was strongest probably means there will be large numbers of fatalities.
For now, the situation remains critical, with particular concern for the safety of those trapped in the rubble in Bangkok. Victoria Innes, TRT World.
Jan Cummins in Brumby has the latest from Bangkok.
Rescue operations have been continuing. There are still groups of these rescue operators working outside of that rubble. I've been speaking to one of them. He was telling me that he's here as part of the forensic police, and they are on standby to identify the bodies of people that they're expecting to find once they manage to break through that rubble and get inside. They think there are dozens of people they don't know if they're dead or if they're alive. And when I spoke to him, he told me that they also don't know how long it's going to take. It could be hours, he said. It could be days, but people are going to be working. The work is ongoing. We've seen drones flying up above me. We've seen heavy machinery being used to try and start that process of shifting that rubble and getting in to get those people out, those people that they hope are still alive. But it's becoming a race against time. In Myanmar, that's where we're likely to really see the brunt of the impact. I've spoken to people even on the border between Myanmar and Thailand, people living in refugee camps there, who were saying that they were really, really frightened. And for the people inside Myanmar, right where the epicenter was, right in the middle of that country, it must have been completely terrifying. I spoke to a doctor in Yangon, one of the biggest cities in Myanmar. She said she was worried about her family. She was really frightened when she felt the earthquake start. And so I think we can expect to see people there out on the streets, people whose houses have been destroyed looking for shelter. We've heard reports that the hospitals there are full, that there are difficulties when it comes to the capacity of these places. But one other thing, it's really hard to actually get information out of Myanmar. We've been hearing tricklings of information, but the Red Cross earlier was saying that the electricity has been cut to large areas and the telephone signals have been cut to large areas. So I think it will take some time before we really come to terms with the scale of this earthquake, the largest earthquake that we've seen in this region really for decades.
But just how prone to earthquakes is Myanmar? The country's seismic activity is mainly due to its position near the tectonic plate boundaries, particularly where the Indian plate collides with the Eurasian plate. The country lies to the west of the Ring of Fire, which is a major area of earthquake and volcanic activity that encircles the Pacific Ocean. The last major earthquake in Myanmar occurred on April 13, 2016, with a magnitude of 6.9. Other major earthquakes have occurred in the past, although they are less frequent and of lower intensity compared to those experienced in the Ring of Fire regions. Caroline Holt is the head of global operations at the International Federation of Red Cross. She says there are many challenges to the current search and rescue operations.
It's safe to say that we have no idea yet, really, in terms of the full extent of this particular disaster. Not only is it night now and it's dark, the search and rescue is become more challenged as a result of that, but also the infrastructure has been impacted. We've not actually been able to contact fully the people in the affected area. We're working through our partner, the Myanmar Red Cross. And the communications and the electricity are clearly down. Not only that, we've seen reports of roads and bridges also taken out. It all complicates the rescue mission in this situation. As in every earthquake, the initial response is about finding people who are still alive. People will be trapped under the rubble, and the aftershocks will also continue, which continues to destabilize buildings that may not have fallen in the initial quake. So it's still a very dangerous area. People will have spent the night outdoors, no doubt. And as soon as day breaks, then that search and rescue phase will continue to try and find those people that are still alive.